Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Yes, it is Wednesday. And this time, I'm sure it's Wednesday. Hey, we had a little bit of an unusual day, a lot of rain and storms this morning, but boy, did it clear out. It cleared out quite a bit and it warmed up quite a bit. Now we've got more storms that are expected. But overnight tonight, I just wanted to let you know that I don't think Northwest Arkansas sees a whole lot of storm activity tonight. I was looking at the latest. It's kind of been trending down. I've been kind of getting that gut feeling that we just don't see a whole lot of development. Now, River Valley will be a little more active. We got a lot to talk about. I've only got about maybe 15 minutes to do it. So we're going to do kind of a quick lightning fast Facebook Live. But the active weather, it's not over yet. Hey, Bill. Hope you're doing well. The camera I noticed is kind of glitching a little bit, so I probably need to reboot the computer. But greetings from Centerton. Centerton definitely saw some rain. There's no doubt about that. All right, I want to show you a couple things, and then we're going to get into the forecast. But check this out. This is our time lapse here. So yeah, isolated rain and storm chances overnight. Better storm chances in the River Valley. So check this out. As you'll see, there's the rain. It clears out pretty quick. And then you'll see those are pretty cool. Undulatus asperatus clouds, asperatus undulatus. And then you'll see here that clears out. And man, when it cleared out, it skyrocketed. The temperatures hit the mid 80s. Models were well under what that was, the actual highs were. So it was a bust forecast for me, unfortunately. I've been really having a struggle with that all day today. I've been really kicking myself because you remember, if you watched the Facebook Live last night, I wanted to change and up those numbers, knowing that the rain was going to be out of here by about 11 o'clock, and then the clouds cleared and the temperatures warmed. And you guys always say, meteorologists can be wrong all the time and still get paid for it. Well, we're not wrong all the time, but when we are wrong, it hurts us. It hurts me. I've been really struggling with this. This is one of the tougher forecast busts that I've had. So just got to dust yourself off, right? What happens when KJ throws an interception? Just dust yourself off. You get out there and you start throwing long bombs again and frozen ropes to some receivers. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to talk more about this. But here's a look at the time lapse, seeing the clouds clearing out. And then watch this. Yeah, there's the clouds that were expected. And you can see those clouds also showing some gravity waves too. And a beautiful sunset tonight. You get to see that. Gorgeous weather. A little bit of high cloudiness to prevent those colors from popping underneath the clouds. But so there's our time lapse. So what happened last night into this morning? Well, a lot of rain. And you're going to see that bullseye of heavy rain that was across northern Benton County, southwest Missouri. So definitely some decent rain amounts and rain totals. And this was the satellite and radar from the last 24 to 36 hours. And so unlike tonight, last night, we actually had some energy. We had a low pressure system. You can see the amount of lift. That's why all those thunderstorms erupted. And then you can see that energy starting to push out. And then once it did move out, subsidence or sinking air on the backside of that system, and then it basically moved out. Then there's a little bit of energy that popped up in the River Valley. Now, that's interesting because that's a foreshadow of things to come overnight tonight, where additional storms will likely pop up, and that's going to be the location. Northwest Arkansas probably not going to be in that location. Let's take a look here at the water vapor. We're going to go back 48 hours just because you can't do this when you're on TV because it takes up too much time. But you're going to see that energy swinging in. There's the development of the low south of Denver. I'll point it out right here for you. This is that energy that's south of Denver. Then you can see it moving southeast. Boy, a lot of lift on that. And then see how that churn just kind of right on top of us. Additional storms popping up. I will say, the models did a great job on the convective trends. They did a terrible job on temperatures, but they did a great job on the convective trends. Now, do you see what's happening off to the west? That is some trouble. Boy, oh boy. First of all, you got a huge trough of low pressure. You've got a subtropical jet. You got the polar jet. These are actually going to come into phase. We're going to have a little bit of a split flow that kind of merges into one. one storm becomes negative tilt. And yeah, we're going to get into that. So anyways, Olivia, where Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is going to have times where it's absolutely pouring down rain and thunderstorming pretty bad and dangerous for bikers. And then there's other times where it's going to be really nice. And I will show you that here coming up in just a bit. But let me put this into motion again. And you can really see this upper level spin. And then that drops southeast. So what's around here right now? Nothing but ridging. You can see how there's a small ridge of high pressure. And that's why I just don't think there's a lot of storms in Northwest Arkansas. But there's still some energy in the river valley, and you can kind of see that streakiness in the water vapor. That's going to fire off additional storms. The models are picking up on that. And then our storm system that comes in on Thursday is going to be this. Saturday's system that we're going to talk about is that one. So here's the future track. This is why, I have to show the big picture before we narrow it down and zoom in with a microscope. So there's the isolated storm development that happens later on tonight. I think around 11, 12 o'clock at night, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, some rumbles of thunder. Southeast Oklahoma gets more storms. See how it just doesn't really happen in Northwest Arkansas? That makes sense looking at the water vapor and looking at the upper level energy or the lack of it. Maybe a few lingering storms in the late morning. I don't see a whole lot of activity. However, watch what happens Thursday night. Now, granted, this is one model, and it could change. But honestly, a lot of models are showing this consistency. We can see the water vapor. You can see the energy off to the west. And there you see the thunderstorm. So, first of all, how's Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue going to be? Well, tomorrow morning into the late morning, you'll be okay. A few little scattered showers. Early afternoon to mid-afternoon, looking A-okay. Thursday night, not so much. So that's going to be a problem because look at all those storms coming in. And I looked at the latest, and there is a little bit of a significant tornado potential that bumps up to like 1, not very high. But it shows you that there's going to be instability and a lot of different things like that. Yep, you're going to have a run tomorrow morning, I think. I don't think you have to worry about that. Now, later on in the Friday time frame, that storm system comes through. We get that additional energy because remember, that's a big system, and there's going to be several disturbances and several vorticity maximas that come off of that. And then you can see that energy kind of sticking around. Now, this has rain until Friday afternoon. Yesterday, it had rain until Wednesday afternoon. That didn't happen. I don't believe that. I think it does clear out. That makes perfect sense. So here's the timing of that rain over the next 2 days. And River Valley gets some showers and storms that pop up overnight tonight. And you can see it getting up to 60%. Then it drops back down because of Thursday afternoon. The rain chances kind of drop off. So if you're doing some biking in the mid to late afternoon, no problems. There it ramps back up pretty quick by Friday evening, or should I say Thursday evening into Friday morning. And then here's the River Valley forecast, 30%. And then you can see it ramping back up Thursday night. So this is the Northwest Arkansas forecast. It's a lot less. It's a lot less for the storm activity. When we can look at some other models too, and they all kind of are in agreement. Yeah, I think there could be some rain. But as far as lighting is concerned, I just don't see it. Now, as far as the storm activity, this doesn't really show it until Friday morning, but sometimes the graph can be a little underdone. Peyton just walked in. What would you say? Would you agree with that?
Well, that the graph is underdone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty underdone. Most of the models were a little bit underdone in terms of Friday's trends, but they nailed this morning.
It's Triple R did pretty good this morning. I got to give it to, and the Rufus did pretty good too. The RRFS model, which by the way, I mentioned Weather Bells. Like, dude, when are you going to get that model on your model suite? Come on, man. All right, so let me show you the 3-kilometer graph because this updates every hour. Let's see if this has anything. And yeah, if you do see rain in Evansville, Tiffany, and Southwest Washington County, it's going to be very little. I don't see a whole lot now. There could be a little bit of additional development. It's not, and I repeat, it is not going to be like what we saw tomorrow. Now, Van Buren, we'll see a little bit more storm activity. But as far as the major storms, I don't think that really happens until tomorrow night. Now, what's interesting is we look at the day one and the day two risk, and there's just no severe weather risk. And I haven't looked at the latest one, but I imagine there is nothing. Let's see. Yeah, so it's just got a level one. It does clip the river valley. So that is something that's been introduced. That's something that we'll have to update on the newscast tonight. And that's why we were saying river valley chances are a little greater. And that's where the storm development is going to be. So that's mainly focused in the river valley. Now, with that being said, over the next 7 days, this is 7-day precipitation forecast totals. It shows 7 days, and you're thinking, well, today's Wednesday, that goes all the way out to Tuesday. It does, but there's no rain on Tuesday. It's going to be great on Tuesday, but these rain chances stop on Monday, and look at that rain total right there. So this is in addition to what we saw, and that, by the way, is that's the 4 to 5 contour. So then you got 5 to 7 that's down here. So a good portion of the area will see additional significant rain. All right, let's talk about this system coming in Saturday because it's a beast. And I am going to be watching it very closely. So this is what I want to show you. We're going to look at some different computer modeling. We're going to look at the jet stream. And so here we've got a look at the European model. And you're going to like this, Peyton, because I was looking at this. Watch this energy swing in. So first of all, what you're seeing is this piece of energy brings the storms tomorrow morning in the River Valley and then tomorrow evening into Northwest Arkansas. And then watch this. Oh, my goodness. There's that system. There's the subtropical jet. Here's the polar jet. They phase together. That becomes negative tilt. That is interesting.
That's really negatively tilted.
Yeah, it is. Very negatively tilted. Now, what do we mean by negative tilt? Well, if I were to draw a line from here to here and splice this and kind of cut it in half, like imagine you want to make symmetric sides to this trough. And is there any way to turn that off on there when it's doing the click for sound? Oh, yeah, there it is. Where was that? Cursor readout. Got it. Okay. So if I were to go right here and splice that up in half, that line is going from upper left to bottom right. So essentially, if you have someone that's walking, they're going downhill. And, it's not as steep as a hill, but that is completely negative tilt. That is big time. Because here, it wasn't negative tilt. See how it's positive? If I were to splice it in half or split that jet into halves, one side on the left, one side on the right. That line runs from bottom left to upper right. All right, so here's the energy swinging in. There's the thunderstorm activity. That is Saturday evening. That is pretty impressive. We look at the nose of the jet, and boy, there's a lot of diffluence there, man, where the jet stream's flowing southeast and then southwest. So northeast, southwest, northwest, all that is rising motion. And if we look at the upper air dynamics, look at the amount of vorticity that comes in. This is one thing that bugs the scrap out of me with I wish it would just stay on the time that you want, but it doesn't. So you just got to do it kind of single. So here's what we'll do. This is Saturday night. Here's the energy coming in. We can look at different now. There's the 500 millibar vorticity. There's plenty of energy for thunderstorms. And when we look at the thunderstorm activity, there it is popping up. Now, you mightn't say, well, it's not raining in Northwest Arkansas. Well, that's because, and we're going to zoom in, that is the 6-hour precipitation from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 7 o'clock in the afternoon. So thunderstorms are already popping up in Tulsa by 7 o'clock in the evening.
What are the winds looking like? Because I want to see if
the low-level winds.
Yeah, because I want to see if we're going to be in the warm sector.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I can tell you this too. That's before the low-level jet kicks in. Here's where the low-level jet starts to kick in, and granted, it doesn't show as much, and that's because that energy is kind of phasing. However, if we were to click on this, and I guess it's not, of course, because it's not logged in. Why do you always do this? All right, now I've got to go all the way back, look at everything else. By the way, I can't see comments right now, so if you're commenting, we've got this on full screen just because we're dissecting the data here. So we're going to go here. We're going to look at that 500 millibar, or look at 925. I can't do the forecast model loop because it always changes on me. We'll go to, here's the 18Z, by the way. Ooh, a southeasterly component. Let me tell you something. In all my years of being here, anytime you got straight southerly or southeasterly 925 flow, trouble.
Yeah. And we're in the warm sector.
And we got westerlies and all that stuff.
Low level shear. Yep.
Wow.
Tons.
Very strong low level shear. And this does say marginal torr. And the reason it's not any great now the critical angles, I don't believe that storm motion. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Maybe a little bit with the way the jet quadrant is, but here's the deal: if that jet axis is just a little bit farther south, we get the westerlies. Our storm motions are going to be northeast, east northeast, and that lines up perfectly. This is a terrible critical angle, but there's a marginal torr. We'll move along here and see what it shows. Marginal severe. So that is when the thunderstorms are rolling in. That's pretty impressive right there. That is and I think this is a little weak, honestly. We're going to see this continue to probably change a little bit. Let's look at the GFS and see what it has. So GFS doesn't have as good of a profile.
But what is consistent is that low-level shear.
Yeah, the low-level shear is definitely there. So if we go back to this and we look at severe weather, and we can look at some of this stuff. Let's look at the first of all, we know that the LCLs are going to be pretty low. That's pretty good right there. If we look at the mixed layer CAPE, we know there's plenty of instability. And remember, this is all dependent, too, on that system coming in and where it moves in as well. And so there's just there's a lot of things going for this. If you want to know if we're in the warm sector, look at this. Well, look at the flash lightning density. This is good. This is going to be off the charts here. So this, by the way, is Saturday evening. And then here's Sunday. Here's Saturday night, and then here's Sunday morning. So a lot of thunderstorm activity.
Yeah, don't think it's going to be a Louisiana Saturday night.
Nope. Definitely not. So that's going to be something to check out. Now, let's look at the HRRR. The latest HRRR is out. Look at those lightning flash densities. All right, so hold on. We're going to go back to our composite reflectivity. It's kind of hard when you got such a big map and you can barely see it. So you can't see all the stuff. The text is too big. So here's the forecast loop. There's the storms popping up in the River Valley, a few popping up in Northwest Arkansas. This is still not the right model. All right, here we go. Yep, there's River Valley storms. Not as much in Northwest Arkansas. Oh, it kind of takes that system a little bit farther south, doesn't it?
Weakens it a little bit.
Yeah. Still rain and storms, and sometimes that could be a pump fake, but still somewhere is going to get impacted. There's that line coming through. So, yeah, that maybe shifted a little bit south according to the latest trends.
You can guarantee I'll probably be live Saturday night.
We'll see. And then we look at the NSSL here, and there you can see storms popping up. And then there's Thursday, and there's Friday, and, yeah, there's just more storms coming through. So, a lot going on. All right. Well, a couple minutes for questions, so we'll take those. Let's go back here. F5 tools are showing. Yeah, good point here. Let me bring that up real fast. Because it was showing tornado potential, and it was right over Northwest Arkansas too. QLCS tornado, I bet.
Got that unlocked.
Yep, watch this. Right there.
Huh.
So if we go back, good question, Josh. Here's the outlook right here. Of course, I move over it and it changes. Okay, here's Saturday evening. Here's Saturday night. See how that's basically right over Northwest Arkansas. It doesn't look very high, but I'm telling you, anytime this shows anything, it's something to watch. Can't you just stay on the frame that I want instead of every time you click a product, it changes everything. Now there's the severe threat. So Saturday night's going to be something to watch. That's for sure. I think we're going to see a severe weather threat start to creep in. So real quick, I got to shut this down, but I do want to show you this. This is the severe weather risk for this is the day 4 convective outlook. Come on.
It was just there.
Yeah, it'll be there again. There. Just got to click off of it. So this is the convective outlook for day 4. Very substantial, very large. Now remember, it's all because of that energy that's getting a little farther south. Models aren't depicting that Baja blast energy that we call it when it moves in from west to Baja. It's part of the subtropical jet. There's probably going to be additional storms that develop. So, and I bet you this continues to expand and increases and goes farther south. So the timing of this is going to be right around 10 o'clock.
Yep. The 10 o'clock special.
10 o'clock special. And we know what that does. So anything tonight? Not much.
No.
You're fine, Emily. A few rumbles of thunder. River Valley will see some more. And so real quick, this is what you can expect for the next several days. So tonight, River Valley storms, some severe weather possible in LaFleur County. That lasts until about late morning into the afternoon, starts clearing out. Perhaps another round of storms coming through. This is questionable, but I still think we get some energy moving in for Thursday evening. That brings storms for Thursday evening into Friday morning. Additional storms still possible Friday morning with more energy. And then finally by Friday afternoon, all of that will move out. Great weather for Friday afternoon into the evening.
Yeah.
No problems there. Great. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is going to be beautiful. Saturday will be deceiving because it'll feel nice. It'll look nice.
Right.
And then before you know it, Saturday night, before last call for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, things could get, let's just say, a little turbulent.
Yeah.
Then that continues into Sunday in the morning hours. That moves out. We get possibly additional storm activity as the last bit of energy swings in for Sunday into Monday. And then the rest of the week is looking all awesome. So, yeah, definitely vendors need to be watching Saturday's cleanup close. Those tents are going to be pretty insane.
They could become
pretty intense.
Dangerous projectile weapons.
All righty. Home afternoon. Nope. No problem at 3 p.m., but it'll be a bumpy flight as that energy swings in. I got to run. We're about to start our newscast. Thanks for watching. Again, nothing real major tonight, and we'll be on tomorrow with more information. See you guys.